Hey everyone, welcome to Quasar Technology channel. I'm Nagatu. Today we're diving into the hidden magic of the internet, the tech that keeps our information safe. Think about every time you send a message, log into a bank account, or shop online. Your sensitive data, your name, your passwords, your credit card number gets sent across the internet. But have you ever wondered how it stays private? The truth is, the internet wasn't built for privacy. It was built for delivery. Anyone could potentially intercept your data, like reading a postcard sent through the mail. So how do we turn that postcard into a sealed, private letter? The answer is encryption. Encryption is a process of scrambling your data into an unreadable form, making it meaningless to anyone who intercepts it without a key. There are two main types of encryption. The first is symmetric encryption. It is the simplest and fastest method, using a single shared key to both lock, which is encrypt, and to unlock, which is decrypt the data. Think of it like a padlock where the same key works for both locking and unlocking. It's incredibly efficient, which is why we use it for a lot of our data transfer. But symmetric encryption has a major flaw. Gigantic, huge problem. How do you safely get that shared key to the other person in the first place? Put in another context, how do two parties who have never met agree on a secret key over a public, insecure medium or channel? If you send the key itself, a third party could intercept it and read all your subsequent messages. This is a key exchange challenge. The solution to this problem comes from the second type of encryption, asymmetric encryption. This is where things get clever. People behind this idea have got a Nobel Award of Computing, the Turing Award. Asymmetric encryption, also known as public key cryptography, uses two mathematically linked keys, a public key and a private key. There isn't anything specific that makes the public key public other than the fact that we chose to make it public among the two pairs. Same applies to the private key. The magic here is that anything encrypted with one key can only be decrypted with the other one. The public key can be shared with anyone, but the private key must be kept absolutely secret. A great way to think about it is a special mailbox. Anyone can drop letter in, meaning encrypt with the public key, but only you can open it with your unique private key. So you can shout your public key from the rooftops. Anyone can use it to encrypt a message for you, but once they do, that message is locked shut. The only key in the entire universe that can open it is your super secret private key that you never ever share. So how does this solve our key exchange problem? Let's imagine you, let's call you Alice, want to send a secret message to a website. Let's call the website Bob. Bob has a public and a private key pair of his own. Alice gets Bob's public key because the public key is openly available for everyone who wants to send secret key message to Bob. Alice then generates a new random symmetric key. She takes this new key and encrypts it using Bob's public key. She then sends this encrypted key to Bob. Since only Bob has a private key that corresponds to that public key, he is the only one who can decrypt it and get the symmetric key. Now both Alice and Bob have the same secret key. They can continue their communication using the fast and efficient symmetric encryption. Note that if the secret key had to be shared in the reverse direction, meaning from Bob to Alice, Bob has to first get Alice's public key to encrypt the symmetric key that he has randomly generated and sent to her, so that she will use her corresponding private key to decrypt and get the symmetric encryption key. Once Bob or even Alice encrypts data with someone else's public key, even Bob or Alice cannot reconstruct back their own message to its clear form unless they manage to access the other person's private key, which they can't because that's private to the person owning the key pair. You might be asking, why don't we just use asymmetric encryption for everything? The reason is efficiency. Asymmetric encryption is computationally expensive and slow. We use it just once to securely exchange the fast symmetric key, which then used for all subsequent data transfer. We have solved the key exchange problem, but a final crucial question remains. How do you know the public key you are using actually belongs to the person or website you think it does? What if a malicious hacker intercepts the public key and replaces it with their own? This is yet another challenge. This is a trust problem. To solve this, we rely on a digital document called a certificate. A certificate is a document that binds a public key to an identity, like a website domain name. But what makes the certificate itself trustworthy? The answer is digital signature. A digital signature is a cryptographic guarantee created by a trusted third party known as certificate authority. Think of CA as a digital notary public. When a website wants a certificate, a CA verifies its identity. Once the CA is satisfied, it uses its own private key to digitally sign the certificate. This signature is an encrypted fingerprint of the certificate's content. Now, when your browser receives this certificate, it does a crucial check. It uses the CA's public key, which is already pre-installed and trusted on your computer, to decrypt the signature. If the decryption works, your browser knows two things. One, the certificate hasn't been tampered with. And two, it was signed by a CA that your device trusts, which means the public key inside it is authentic. This chain of trust, from your computer to a trusted CA, and from the CA to a website certificate, is the foundation of online security. And it is what makes that little padlock icon on your browser so important. And that is a basic overview of how certificates and digital signatures work together to keep your data safe online. Let's quickly recap what we covered in today's video. We began by pointing out that Internet was originally designed for efficient delivery of information and not for privacy or security. Because of that, we needed a way to exchange data safely, even when it travels across an open medium. The answer to this challenge was encryption. Encryption makes our data unreadable to anyone without the proper key. But it raised another problem. How do we securely share that key with the other person? This is where asymmetric encryption came in. allowing us to send secret key encrypted with the recipient's public key. At first, this seemed like a complete solution, but it still left us with the issue of trust. How do we know the public key really belongs to the person we intend to communicate with? This is where digital certificates and signatures step in. A certificate verified by a Trusted Certificate Authority or CA assures us that the public key belongs to the right identity. Our computers check this by comparing the certificate's hash with the decrypted version of its digital signature. If they match, the certificate is authentic and the key, which means the public key, truly belongs to the claimed owner. This is a simplified explanation of public key cryptography, but it captures the essence of how it works. I intentionally avoided diving into technical terms like TLS handshakes, cipher suits, RSA, Diffie-Hellman to keep this episode clear and beginner-friendly. If you would like me to expand on any of those advanced concepts, or if you have a question from today's video, let me know in the comment section. I'll be happy to check and respond. Since this channel is still at an early stage, I would really appreciate your support through likes, shares, and subscriptions. Thanks for watching and see you next time.